Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we start to build above our base, get into Flux networks, and also test out that beautiful mob cage that we've been trying to go for. So guys, I hope you are ready. So today I want to build a little bit, right? Build a little bit more to our base and kind of get the other three things that we definitely need to automate automated in order for us to have some nice consistent resources coming in. And I pretty much already have those set up. Luckily we shouldn't need to make these heavy, as these aren't as important as the rest. The only thing that I would love to eventually set up as a heavy would be probably our resources that are coming in from the netherrack. So how are we going to set this up? Well, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need let's see, an exporter for our netherrack. And then we're also going to need an exporter for gravel, because gravel needs to be sieved in order to keep up with our clay demands that this is going to have. But we don't need it to be anything crazy, but we do need to make sure that it exists. So two exporters, and we're also going to need 2 importers. And that's pretty much how we're going to automate those things. Then we can focus on building while we let those processes happen. So simply setting these up, I mean, all I have to do is kind of extend my cable here. I'm going to use the middle section for the power to be able to power all of these. But yeah, all we need is a little bit of cable and we're good to go. So extend this up. And then for this, I'm just going to extend it to the side here. And we need to set the exporters to export out of our system a couple different things. And also I'm working on the emeralds for this because this one in particular needs the emerald mesh. And then of course we're going to upgrade later on, but we need the emerald mesh on our crushed netherrack. And so as you can see, we have an auto hammer that's going to crush the netherrack. Then we're going to pipe that into this and we should be good to go. This is just going to sieve regular gravel, and I'm going to use a regular iron mesh for that, as it doesn't really get a bonus for having anything better than that. So for example, gravel, we can go ahead and grab some gravel. I'm going to go ahead and decompress all of this. I believe we have gravel just constantly flowing in. If not, I'm going to have to set that back up. Yeah, definitely need to say, hey, gravel, you need to go into here. As you can see, as of right now, of course, nothing has power. So that's what we have to deal with. And well, I guess it's time for me to go underwater and get all this hooked up. As of right now, I know this is a cable mess. This is just a mess of stuff down here. I completely understand, like, you going, oh, Chosen, what have you done? Oh, no. I'm gonna die. These guys are the worst. I think this is the second time I've died by one of these things. You have to be careful. Like, they just come out of nowhere. Didn't even realize that guy was there. Either way, like, it doesn't really have much of a consequence, because you still get to keep your still get to keep all of your experience, which is super nice. So yeah, back to down here. Cable, gotta go there, and then we got to get our power cable linked into our power network, and there we go. That's pretty much all of our stuff linked down to the bottom side. Now we just have to make sure everything's covered in the top side. So all we need to do here is just give this a nice little power boost. There we go. These are running. And of course, our mesh for that should almost be done. We need to set this to netherrack. Up here, netherrack. That should automatically start pulling netherrack in. And this also needs power. How am I going to do that? I didn't actually think about that. You know what? I'm just going to route these cables a little bit higher. I know, like I said, it is a mess. It is honestly a mess. Things will look better in the future. But right now, oh yeah, things are just an awful cable mess. But that works. There we go. Yeah, it's a thing. Now we also have to make sure we turn this on here. So I now have my emerald mesh, and I can throw that in here. Perfect. That's going to start sieving up that gravel. As you can see, we should have enough power from just this one side. And yeah, there it goes. It just got a little pebble. I don't know if you've seen that, but a little pebble was just generated, and we just let this run. This is just going to run while we work on other things. So it is raining, but I am slowly but surely starting to work on this build, and I'm starting to map things out, and that's kind of how I like to build. I don't know. In my head, I have a vision kind of what I want this to look like. I think I want to go with a more industrial build. That's why I'm utilizing a bunch of smooth stone to kind of outline everything, almost as if like factories and stuff sort of have this sort of outlining grid for certain things. Like a machine needs to go here, so it's going to be mapped out and is going to fit the floor plan, so that way we can, you know, tightly fit more machines in. If anybody's ever worked in a factory, you would definitely know that everything is tightly compact, as close, like they try to maximize space as best as possible, because there's a lot that has to go on in a limited amount of space. And that's kind of what I want to set up here. I want to still utilize our underwater sections and sort of emphasize them. That's why I'm leaving some gaps and also leaving this glass. But we're also going to start expanding above here. And that's where things are really going to start getting interesting, is the ability to build above water is much easier than building below water. I don't know how much of the below water stuff we're going to build, as we now have access to the above part. Cabling and stuff, speaking of that, it's going to become a little bit easier because we can sort of hide that under the water, as you can see. But yeah, and here soon we're fixing to get into hopefully wireless cables and stuff. We're going to have access to some wireless power because Flux Networks is in here, and I'm super excited to dabble around with some more Flux Networks and play around with that. And the interesting crafting recipes for which we get Flux Networks. That's going to be something that we need to work on as well soon. So one thing I'm kind of having a problem with is all these mobs, right? And a good way to get rid of them, well, is actually really cheap. And I wasn't expecting it to be so cheap, but a Mega Torch. That should definitely do the trick. Yep, that will definitely block a lot of the mobs. You know, I'll just place it right here for right now. And we shouldn't, hopefully, we shouldn't have to worry about these guys spawning. I don't know how it affects the underwater stuff. I know it only goes down like 20 blocks or so. It doesn't have like a very high Y, but it does go out pretty far. But that's definitely going to help me build. And as you can see, I am still slowly but surely working on this build. I've kind of rounded the corners off, and now I get to kind of fill out these sections and get to work on building what is going to eventually be rooms and towers. Now with this building, I think I should probably make a building gadget. By the way, I also went ahead and made an elevator. Yeah, building gadget is probably going to be my friend at this point, as we're going to be starting to build pillars and things like that. So yeah, this is definitely a must-have, must-use, and is definitely going to be a time saver. So I'm now going to be moving my windmills. I decided to go ahead and place them up top under these towers here. I think that's going to look a little bit better. And I guess I should probably just like reverse them, like make them go in this direction, so we can just focus the power into the center. It looks goofy, but hey, as long as it gets our power going, that's all that matters. And we should be producing a little bit more power than as if we just had them where they originally were, which honestly would be kind of in the way. And if we started to build around them, they would just stop working. So that's kind of a problem. And we don't want them to just stop working. I feel like I left one somewhere. I don't know where. Did I lose one? What's going on? So I'm not 100% completely done with the build. I'm still slowly but surely working on it. This is going to be a multi-stage process, 100% on this this build. But I did finally get our power all set up and hooked back up, which is really nice. I am now using advanced cables, and the crazy thing about these cables is this right here, all this hooked together, because it is now hooked in its own like section, is pretty much a giant battery as well, because it's 6.8 million FE that is being stored just in the cables. Lot of power. It is a lot of power that is being stored there. So even if I was to disconnect, we would still have a pretty decent buffer, at least for a little while. So some things I definitely want to get set up now that we have, like, man, look at all the resources that are just flowing in. I'm loving this now that we have these things automated. Oh, it's super nice. But we also need to get some productivity going. So I want to get into Flux Networks, which means I'm going to need some obsidian that is needing to be cooked up over here. So we're going to get some obsidian melted up. That's probably going to take a little bit of time. And then I need redstone to go into here because I need to transport out this molten obsidian onto the redstone, and that's how we're going to get into Flux Networks. On top of that, you're also going to need some Eyes of Ender, and like we should have, let's see, Blaze building up. Slowly but surely, Blaze should build up from this. Not like our other setups, but it is, eventually we'll have a better setup for it. So I can go ahead and start casting this out. As you can see, it's already started. And that is going to make our flux dust. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, but it is definitely going to be well worth our investment in time. Also, while we're here, let's talk about these mob cages and how we're going to do that. As you can see, we also need the flux core in order to make these compact machine walls. So while I'm also getting this process started, like there's some other things we need to do. Let's grab a hopper for right now and a chest. And let's just set this up because I know this hopper in particular is not fast enough to flood this entire system here. The molten obsidian should be able to handle this. Actually, we might have enough molten obsidian to not need to do this, because that'll probably end up blocking up this whole thing. Yeah, let's turn that off. I think we have enough molten obsidian to last us quite a while. That's 22 blocks worth. And I don't know how much this is using. That could take a long time. Does it tell us here on the cast? Okay, so basically it's one obsidian block equals 4 of the flux dust. So okay. So yeah, this will probably last us a good while. I should probably leave that alone. So while we're waiting on all that, we should have the flux cores now, and we have some of the materials that we need to build this. And this is what this is going to look like, right? This with a piece of obsidian on top, and then we toss that in there, and this is going to create the compact machine frames or walls that is used from the compact crafting mod. So here it is. There we go. So compact machines. So I guess this is this an add-on, compact crafting, in order to get it to work? And then we have the compact machines 4. Because I know compact machines 4, where these full projectors were from. So yeah, as you can see, we only get 4 from them. So this is going to be a pretty lengthy process. And I think the biggest cost here is the blaze wood and these cores. However, I do want to get into this mod, and one of the main ones is the flux controller. Actually, I think even the regular plug and the point has the potential to charge us wirelessly without the controller, I think now. So now that I farmed up enough of these compact machine walls, I think we have enough to make this mob cage. I'm really wanting this mob cage. So we do have shining blocks of diamonds, so I'm fine there. Ender pearls we have plenty of due to our mob farm. And well, all we have to do is just build what this mob cage needs, right? It needs a compact tiny machine, which is going to be a 3x3 compact machine, which is just these blocks, all 27 of them, which is going to fill up a spot like this. And I think I have a wand. That's going to make this a little bit easier, right? There we go. And then I just toss it into pearl into that, and that's going to actually make the small version of the compact machine, which is pretty nice. Like, compact machines are super useful. In my last Let's Play that I did, man, I used them a lot. And we might end up using them in this as well. Really helps with FPS lag, not so much on the server side, really helping, but it definitely helps with frame lag. So if you have a lot of stuff going on in your base, try to condense them and put them inside these compact machines, and things will get a little bit easier on you. All right, so mob cage. This is going to require a bunch of compressed cobblestone and 26 of these. So we can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall. And if we go step by step, we can see that it is basically the same compact machine sort of setup on the inside, but surrounded by compressed cobblestone. So we should have enough compressed cobblestone to be able to do this. It is going to be a 5x5 setup here, with all the materials in the middle being this. And then inside that is going to be this single shining block of diamond, which is beautiful. We'll go ahead and fill this up, and that'll make building around this a lot easier with our wand. Yeah, you're definitely going to want a wand at this point. And I know one of the quests do provide you with a wand. which is super, super nice. Like an unbreaking wand, which you normally need another star for. So we have that, and we toss this in, and this is going to grant us that mob cage. And I'm super excited to see what this does, because if it allows us to be able to swap mobs, that's super powerful, right? And so here we have a mob cage. Now, is there a section for it? There is. We check marked this. For some reason, the mob cage has not completed, even though we've completed compact machines. Oh, it's because we didn't make the personal shrinking device, and thus it hasn't unlocked the full thing. Man, that's always a bummer that it does that with quests. So after doing some quest finagling, I did end up getting it to work like it's supposed to. Now, I definitely want to turn this into a hopper one, so the way it hops into a chest. But like I said, I'm not too familiar with how this actually functions. I probably need to check out some documentation on it and see exactly how it works. But I know that we are going to need, like for a simple mob, for example, right? We are going to need a DNA sampler. So let's just, for example, use this on, does it have to be white? It has to be white stained glass. Okay. So yeah, so let's say I want to use this on a cow to get a bunch of like cow drops. I guess we punch them. Now this has the DNA of a cow in it. And let's see, if I was going to put this on a chest. Yeah, I have some chests on me. How exactly is this going to function? Right? We have it set to be a hopping one. I place that. It says you need to set up an environment first. So this is where I need to figure out what exactly is this wanting from me. So I'm sort of reading off of the Curse Forge page for the mod, and it says for farm animals or neutral mobs, it says you need a hay block or grass block. Okay, and it says then put. Okay, so I guess it's an environment inside of the actual block itself. So for example, if we were going to have that same setup, right? The cow itself is going to need a hay block inside this block, not around it. It just needs a particular block. So there we go. Hay bale is inside there. And then we hit that with the cow DNA. And as you can see, the cow is now growing inside. So question, if I want to change this to a pig, for example, I don't know if I have, where'd my pigs go? Did they all just disappear? Or a chicken? What if we just want to change it to a chicken? Can we just right click on it to change it? It's still set to a cow. If I break it, is it always a cow? I wonder, is there a way to reset it? Okay, so it dropped the stuff. And yes, it is reset. Okay. So yeah, so I could like grab chicken here and place it in, and now it's a chicken. Okay, so good to know that I can reset it and change it as needed. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So at this point, we definitely should be able to make a flux plug, and this will get us started with our first flux network. Perfect. However, I don't know if I need to make the flux controller. We're going to take a look at that as soon as I get this plug in, because once we create a network, like the network is created, right? So we should be able to plug in up here. I don't really want to have to break the glass. You know what? What if I just drop this down here and give this like a really cool look? Like, what if we just have it like kind of folded down in like this, giving it support, almost like emphasizing the fact that we have this plug that's going to go into here. So let's create our first channel, and I'm going to call it main, as I usually do. Call it main. We can make it orange. I'm going to set it to public. If you guys are playing on a server, set it to private. You can even lock it, I think, by a passcode. So if you want to share it with a friend, you could. I'm going to set it to public so that way you guys can access it in the world downloads. So once we have it made, we need to select it. And then let's talk about wireless charging. It looks like we can actually turn it on. And we can have all these different slots applied, thus automatically charging some of our stuff. Or at least it should seem that way. Is it though? I don't know. Do we need the actual controller for that to work? It shows that it's enabled. These things are not charging though. Interesting. I still think we probably need the actual control, the main controller. So in order to get that wireless charging, I guess we do need the flux controller. Now we can place this anywhere. It doesn't have to be in any particular place. I think I'm going to place it in this room back here. And I can even break out this door. Keep it nice and tucked in here. Perfect. All you gotta do is select the network and then turn on the wireless charger with this. The inventory in the middle is still disabled, so we can't use that. And we now we have wireless charging, and it is cross-dimensional from what I remember. So that is something to keep in mind. It is cross-dimensional and it will work. I'm slowly working on, by the way, getting a bunch of Eyes of Ender cooked up here or produced up here. I had a bunch of blaze, so that is what I've been working on, and I'm about to switch back over and get some more redstone going in here. So one last thing, I think we should probably get ourselves a little bit of a blaze spawner going on here. Instead of a cow, like this is producing stuff, but I think having a blaze probably going to be a little bit better of a thing to have going. So I need to head back into the nether, go to that fortress, and well, we're gonna have to find ourselves a blaze. Shouldn't be too difficult. So this should be pretty easy. Yep. I think we got one. Yep, blaze DNA. Yep, we're good. We can actually leave now. So I noticed on this, it says right here, Gilded Blackstone is actually going to get a 15% growth modifier. So do we have Blackstone that's gilded? I don't think we do. I think we'd have to have something special for that. I'm surprised we didn't get any in the chests that we looted. Oh, wow. We can actually craft Gilded Blackstone. Look at this. Gold ore chunk. And we just surround it with those pebbles. And we get ourselves a piece of Gilded Blackstone. You know what? You can't beat little quirks like that. You just can't beat it. All right, so we place the Gilded Blackstone in there. And then click that in there. And we now have a blaze spawner. Perfect. And that should start generating some blaze for us. So I know today was a bit of a shorter episode, but I do want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is going to go to Can Merez. Thank you so much for your amazing support over on Patreon. And guys, of course, if you're interested in becoming a Patreon, be sure to check out the link down in the description below. Also, while you're down there, be sure to check out my Twitch link. You can go ahead and follow me over on Twitch. I'd really appreciate it. I also have a Twitter if you want to check out some of the awesome stuff that I do post on Twitter. I love hanging out and chatting with people there. And also join our amazing Discord. Our Discord is a partner Discord, so you should feel nice and welcome there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Of course, I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.